We're up on main campus, so we're right here at Kennedy Hall, and the the BPAC is right behind us, and we're going to talk about Japanese maple or Acer palmatum. And in truth, we have Japanese maple all throughout the gardens, but these were just some. This was just a nice specimen to get to show you guys. The leaf arrangement is opposite. The leaf form is simple. The leaf margin is lobed, and there can be anywhere from 5, 7 to 9 lobes per leaf. Plant type is tree, broadleaf and deciduous. It is considered a small tree. You don't ever see these reach large stature. Form is rounded or vase. And you can see this one is definitely wider than it is tall. Reese, can you back up a little bit?
Yep.
So it's got this low vase-shaped trunk structure and a rounded, this one is actually almost flat on top, but a rounded form of the canopy. Soil preferences, it does prefer high organic matter, although this is a common landscape plant here in the Sandhills, and we all know we don't have a lot of organic matter. Moisture preferences is well drained. Pruning info, minimal is required, the habit is favorable. And I would agree with that. My only thing is that it can be a little low branching. And sometimes depending upon the cultivar that you're using, and depending on where it's planted, you may have to remove some of those lower branches. And I would use caution when you do it. I would really try not to have to prune them at all. Growth rate is considered average. Exposure to light is sun to partial. Climactic hardiness zone is 6 to 8. Landscape uses, naturalized setting, shrub border, and specimen. Flowers are considered insignificant. The fruit is truly considered insignificant, although Reese can zoom in. All maples have a winged seed called a samara. So these have just finished flowering and the seeds are just starting to mature, but they're not super significant and permanently on display in the plant for a long time. But they are pretty prolific. You can get a lot of seedling variation. These seeds will germinate well. Autumn color is red. Japanese maples are known for having bright red autumn color as they start to transition from fall to winter. The leaf texture is medium to fine. Notable bark characteristics, there's nothing significant. I gave you 2 notable cultivars, but in reality there are so many cultivars it's not even funny. But there is Acer palmatum VAR variety Atropurpureum cultivar Bloodgood. Bloodgood is really popular. It has deep reddish purple leaf color. So you see that a lot, and it's a similar tree form to this. Here outside Kennedy, I don't know the cultivar of this Acer palmatum, but it's more of a thread leaf cultivar. Look how finely dissected those leaves are. And that's what I was talking about. These come in all shapes, sizes, and forms. And a lot of these low spreading forms are grafted. You can see the graft union is right there. That swelling is where this is the rootstock of a more hardy Japanese maple, and then this top part is the scion is fused on. But you see they have this beautiful graceful twisting and turning structure, which gives them a lot of winter interest. They can be really cool in the winter landscape because of their structure. And then there's another cultivar I'll mention. We have one in front of Steed Hall. It's called Sango Kaku, or the coral bark maple. I have one in front of my house. It has reddish to coral bark on its younger stems, and that's most notable in winter. Right now, when the leaves are on the tree, you don't really notice that, and in truth, I don't think it's as vibrant. But in the winter, when the Japanese maple defoliates, those stems are really vibrant, and that's actually why I planted it in front of my house. My house is navy blue, so in the winter, that tree defoliates, but I get that nice contrast. And so the tree's young, it's not dramatic yet, but it happens. No serious pests or diseases. I will say though, sapsuckers can be an issue, and sapsuckers are a woodpecker. And if they penetrate the trunk enough, let's walk over here. I think they're dirty. We just changed locations. We're at another place on campus because I wanted to show you sapsuckers. So this is what sapsuckers do. And this is actually a very mild case, but they will, if they are happy with your tree, they will poke row after row after row of hole, and it will disconnect that connective tissue. And so basically the tree can't get its nutrients from the leaf, it's the products of photosynthesis from the leaves to the roots, and water from the roots to the leaves. So I've seen that as a problem. And this is an unintentional pest, but Reese is going to pan down and show you, and come around, is humans. I told you guys these are low branching trees, and so as such, often they need limbing up, and they need modifications to make them continue to fit the space in which you planted them. But we don't always do a great job pruning, and these pruning cuts are old. But look how many there are, and they're so big. And you can see, like this one, the bark collar was a little damaged here because it's not healing uniformly all the way around. And even then, the tree starts to compartmentalize. And look at all this decay. This decay is going all the way in. Same here. So humans can be real pests of Japanese maples because we don't always take into consideration how they like to grow and what they need to grow to be happy and sustain. So this tree is maybe 1/8 in foliage. I dare say it's not long for this world. These are not North Carolina natives, not US natives, not invasive. They perform fabulously well in North Carolina. They don't like windy sites, so you always need to keep that in consideration, that they don't like a lot of wind all the time. And I've already told you there are many cultivars to choose from. A lot of them are grafted, and the habit can be dictated by the cultivar and the graft union. So we showed you that one back there in the pot, and the graft union was very low. I've had some where the graft unions are this high, and the tree will grow up and then cascade down and give you maybe an 8-foot kind of a weeping specimen. So there's a lot to look into when you're selecting these Japanese maples. That being said, that's a funny story. That specimen that I just mentioned, that was like the 8-foot weeper. When I worked for CCNC, we had a membership president whose wife was very vocal about how the grounds should look. And this particular specimen was at a waterway just as you entered the main clubhouse drive, and it was kind of at a focal turn in the waterway, but it had, as I said, it was almost a weeping form. It had foliage to the ground. She couldn't stand it, and we had to continue to keep it limbed up, and she couldn't understand why it was not growing into this tree form. It had the red foliage. It is, and she basically told us we were wrong and forced us to limb it up, and then thankfully when he no longer was in office, we were able to allow it to kind of resume its natural habit. But people have their own perceptions of what this plant's supposed to be, and there's so much variability out there that you can't take it at face value. You really need to dig in and figure out what it is that you've got so you fully understand how to grow it and maintain it. Thanks.
Bye!